Alright, so let's just go back to begin where we left off. I know I've been on a long pause, so I apologize for the few people who actually watch my videos. Shout out to all of you. But we need to begin with something that I've really been noticing this of late. And that is the reason why the victimhood narrative is being pushed, particularly on a certain group of men. Now, for all my brothers and mothers, feel free to sit down and watch and listen and maybe learn some things, because they're sort of trying to do that to you too, to a certain degree. But this is especially affecting guys who look like me, and etc. at all. So, as far as the trick, okay, so way back in, well, ever since this country almost began, there's always been a narrative to make a certain group of men or certain men that you want to dehumanize look less than. Whether it's in order to justify atrocities or justify other things, doing other things to them. Are we at the 2-minute mark? Oh yeah, I've been watching the internet. I've been down, but I haven't been out. I have been watching the internet, and apparently there's a 2-minute mark on which you have to keep it PG, squeaky Disney before you can really get into the big stuff or get into the spicy words. So, shout out to Mama's Cooking. But regardless of that, historically, there have been things done, and I'm not worried or lamenting about those things, but before people do said things, they try to push an agenda, they try to push a narrative, or if it's not to do something, it's to prevent something. So, in this case, we're going to focus on the latter. What is it that certain group of individuals trying to prevent certain other groups of individuals from doing? Well, it started from, well, actually it really started from Birth of the Nation, the original movie, from D.W. Griffith, I think his name is. It started there. Then it started with all sorts of propaganda sent mainly from this country, even to other countries, warning them about a certain group of men. Then afterwards, okay, they eased off in the 60s, alright, because, a certain group of men were gaining their balls and having some dignity. But lo and behold, they decided to party too soon with the 70s. And henceforth comes blaxploitation, the cool breeze image. And that fizzled out, in which we ended up in the 80s, which actually the BM image, and yes, the brother image in the 80s and 90s, in my opinion, was probably at its best point if you were not part of that blaxploitation, cool breeze, father of pookies and cracking, all that stuff. If you weren't part of that, you were set, at least in the 80s and 90s. But now, or at least in the 2000s, well, they tried that again. They tried the blaxploitation image once again with the thug image, which, yes, all these things had its detriments, but it actually sort of helped. And what am I talking about? Well, it helped in the sense of getting the opposite race, opposite gender attracted to a certain group of men. And despite all of the boogeyman tactics, because let's just cut to the chase. Shout out to cut to the chase, by the way. That is what a lot of these things are being done for. It is to essentially ward off attraction from the opposite races to dudes who look like us. Whether it was from the Birth of the Nation image, to the blaxploitation image, to the thug image, to all those things. And it worked to a certain degree, particularly with women who are worth a damn. Women who will make good wives, despite being in a quote-unquote hyper-feminist or hyper hedonist society. Yeah, okay. We have women who are like that here. And the agenda has always been to keep those women away from certain men. Which, I hate to say it, it has worked to a certain degree. However, it hasn't worked to the degree that certain groups of men have been completely banished from the IR dating market. And if you want to hear a channel, oh, let's just be honest, who's better than me when it comes to the real information about IR dating? Alright, very few. But nonetheless, despite all these attempts in order to convince Rebecca or Soo Young or Selena to not mess with those kind of boys, even if they're educated, even if they were in the military, even if they have masters and PhDs, even if they have their own jobs from blue collar positions. Don't mess with those kind of boys. Otherwise, you'll be a single mother. You'll be all this, you'll be all that, right? Okay, cool. They tried it all with the thug image and the swag and all this other kind of stuff. But all that really did was attract those women to certain men. And I'll be honest, probably the lesser than the knuckleheads. I'm not going to even use, in this case, Pookie. I'll have a video about that. I might have a video about that in the future. But on why I refuse to use the Pookie word anymore. But now, what are they doing in order to take that down the image and discourage women outside the race, or heck, Lupita kind of chicks, the non-ADOS BWs? What are they doing now to discourage them, the women who would make great Stargates, to choose stinking BMs? Oh, all that didn't work. Now let's make you a victim. Yes, a victim. A victim. A man who, despite having a pair of balls and something else between your legs, you can't fend off the police. You can't fend off against good old boys. You can't fend off against January 6th and the MAGA squad. Yes, we finally admit that you are a victim. And that BLM, BL matters. BL matters, right? And that you have it so hard that we need to implement critical race theory, or whatever they're calling it these days, so that we can educate your kids and all the other little boys and girls that you, little Darius, you, little whomever, are a victim. You're no big boy who has masculinity and testosterone and is worthy of the attention of your non-BW or non-American BW women and girls. We tried everything else, but they still like you. So now we're going to tell the world to sympathize with you, to hold hands with you, to feel sorry for you, while on the backside turning them off from you. That is what this victimhood narrative has been about. A lot of people don't see it. Well, I'm not going to say I'm the only one who's seen it, but until now, a lot of people don't get, why is it that they're pushing this SJW progressive woke narrative? Well, you know what? You aren't getting wokeness here. I mean, you aren't getting any of that alt-right crap here neither, don't worry. But as far as being woke, and as far as being SJW, forget about it. This isn't genuine. If it was, I wouldn't be making this kind of video. But as far as the woke agenda goes, as far as the sudden sympathy that they have, or a lot of people can say, well, technically the reason why a person like George Floyd is now being seen as a martyr, well, it was because of a combination of things. One, some people wanted to use it as a way to get a certain individual out of the office, and I have no opinions about him one way or the other, so don't think this is that kind of channel. Two, beer flu was in the air, literally. And three, because of beer flu, what wasn't around last year that is around right now? That they're basically have all but restored right now. Bread and circus. The bread and circus was nowhere to be found because everyone was scared of what beer flu could do. And between that, people losing their jobs, some people getting pissed off because Orange Man Bad was in the office, that was the perfect storm to allow George Floyd specifically, and a couple of others who suffered unjust fates. That was the perfect storm in order to get the world's attention to those individuals. And say what you want about them, whether you think they were taken down unjustly, or for the few individuals who think that they were taken down unjustly. I mean, say what you want. But nonetheless, yes, it was an organic revolution because of their reasons, but individuals I won't name those individuals, but you know who you are, they know who they are. They took this as an opportunity to push a faux sympathetic narrative. But in reality, this faux sympathetic narrative is being done in order to make dudes like us non-competitive in the SMV market, in the dating arena. So, for all these guys, and to be honest, for all you guys who talk about W supremacy and what are they doing today and what the dominant society won't let me do, it's their fault.
I'm Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
Here's some game. Don't speak about it even if it is true. Because what that's going to do is going to, particularly women who hear it, is going to give them the signal that, oh wait, you're weak. Oh wait, yeah, there's problems. Okay? Some of it we may even voted for. Won't go there. Some of it we may even support us to be against you. And you got guys who say that narrative. Okay, maybe it is, even if it is true. What is the use of constantly complaining and whining about it, especially building your channel on it? Unless you're trying to either get that victim money because you got some individuals who are just outright lazy and just don't want to work and just want to have their failures blamed on someone else, or you want to have individuals follow you to the point of being a digital daddy. I'm not going to go into particular details about that, but as far as the victimhood narrative, that is the thing that really makes me puke and cringe when it comes to a lot of these channels. You're a victim of this. You're a victim of the man. You're a victim of the dagger. You're a victim of everyone. Okay, whoa. You know what? Maybe that's the reason why you end up on 8-hour panels and hanging out talking about these women don't respect me. These women don't cooperate with me. I gotta pay. Pookie gets it for free. The Jolai man gets it for free. The light skinned guys get. Oh wait, that's the 80s and 90s. So just take me back. Take me back to the 80s and 90s, I'll be set. Just if I can bring broadband internet back to the 80s and 90s, that's all I ask for. That's all I want for Christmas. And also, what I want for Christmas, the second thing I want for Christmas, is to stop having guys who look like us, look like me and you, be crybabies. Now, I know that my brothers from other mothers, they're laughing at this because the dating market just got easier for them, and you can't blame them for wanting to take advantage of it. But this is just a message for all of you who want to be victims, who want to ponder about every little offense. You know what? Other groups were seen as lower than, less than. Even if you're too prideful to ask them how they got out of it. Even if you're too late, well, if you're too lazy to just don't even watch. Unsub from my channel, please, if you're just too lazy to do whatever. But ask those individuals, how did they do it? Or at the very least, study those individuals and see how they did it. And then you do the same freaking thing. I'm not telling you how to do it. I'm just telling you to do it. Everyone else out there, you can fill in the rest. I'm done with this video. You all take care.